Good morning. This is the Blaine's World podcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can get further information, listen to previous shows, and find out more at our website, which is behind me, blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. And each week we focus on kind of the good stuff that's happening in the area. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce a friend of mine, and he is Jonathan Forrester. And Jonathan, you can wave to all your fans and friends who are watching this. And Jonathan is this amazing guy, as you'll see, who does like everything at Hendersonville Theater. And am I having it correct? It's now Hendersonville Theater, right? Not
Hendersonville Theater. Yep.
Hendersonville Theater. And Jonathan presently is the board president, I think, in your spare time.
Yes, sir. Board
That's
president.
what you're doing. Okay, but he does that in addition to working full time as a marketing guy at a local retirement community. In addition, he does, you name it, he's done it, I would say, at Hendersonville Theater. Would that be true?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you acted, you've directed, you've done sets. I mean, do you spend your life there? Do they have a little cot there for you?
Not yet.
Okay, but
maybe the next year or so.
Okay, but it seems like it. But one of the things that always amazed me about you, Jonathan, is that you do so many things and do so many of them well. I always wonder, like, I know you act, and I love seeing you act. Do you prefer, out of all things you do you have a preference as to the thing you like doing best?
I like them both. I mean, it just keeps going year to year. It just depends on the mood and everything. But I like at least being on stage at least once a year and directing if possible. And if I'm not directing, I like being behind the scenes with like set dressing and different things like that. It's an ongoing learning experience, and that's the fun part of it. And every show's different.
Because every time I see you, like, I'll ask, what are you doing? And like I said, sometimes you'll be in the play, sometimes you'll be directing it. But even when you're not doing either of those two things, you're there. It seems like helping behind the scenes or doing something.
Yes, sir.
Is this the first time you were president of the board?
Yes, I've been president. I think it's since around April of May of this year.
And how do you enjoy that?
I like it. It's different, and it lets me grow as a person and learn new things, and it's just something else that makes me whole as a person and all that. So I've
Let
been
me ask
enjoying.
you, in terms of being president of the board, so what are some of the things you do as president of the board?
It's just a lot of times it's just overseeing the meetings and keeping things on track and knowing all the aspects of the theater as we go along, and just keeping everything on track and making sure we're meeting the deadlines, etc., for certain things. But being it's a lot of it is representation of the theater, and being visible, um, and letting us get known in the community more and different things like that. So I think it's just more of a visual thing, and being present is a big thing.
Now, I have to give you a lot of credit because Hendersonville Theater, I've gone to ever since I moved into the area. And I had a couple rough years, it seemed like. But over the last year or two, it seems like it's made like a tremendous comeback. And I'll say, I'll give you a lot of credit for it. But you want to talk also about some of the rest of your team who's helped you, do as well as you're doing. But talk about who else is involved.
Well, we have Victoria Lambert, she's the artistic director. We have Allison Sterling, who's our box office manager. Tate Albert, who is like pretty much our technician and lighting person right now. And then we have Rita O'Hara, who is our props master at the theater. We have a new development director, Michelle Stokes, who has been a tremendous support and helping get the theater name out there, and getting new sponsors for shows, etc. So that's a few of the people that we've got working behind the scenes, that especially Victoria, Allison, and Michelle are here running the business part of the theater, and then we have a couple of new board members that are involved. Our music series has tremendously taken off this last year, and we're doing that again next year. So that'll be another an added bonus throughout the season, where we do the different music performances between shows.
And
as
talk about
well.
that if you would, Jonathan, what that is, because that's again, like you said, something kind of new but very exciting. What's that all about?
We have just a local artist or artists from out of town that come in and they'll do like a one night show, depending on what style of music um, that we're doing, and we usually try to get it around the holidays specifically. Um, but that's taken off. Where I think next year, I think we have like 8 different performance groups coming in, so that will be sprinkled out through our 24 season.
And also, you used to have, but you don't have them anymore. You used to have like two theaters going
Mhm.
simultaneously almost. Will
Yep.
that be coming back at all?
Not at this point. We're basically out of space at this point with everything going on. Um, so we what we've had it additionally is like a readers theater style um, that they rehearse during the day and they'll rehearse for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we do a weekend performance where it's a matinee and an evening show um, that's performed, and it's for people that just want to do readers theater where there's not much involvement into the process. And then we have a new work series that we've done where we have playwrights from all over the country um, send in their scripts and they come for a reading once every other month or every month, depending on the variety of scripts we get. And we usually pick 1 to 2, and we get pull from our artist pool, and they come in and do a reading for like an afternoon, and there's feedback from the audience as well as the author playwright. And and sometimes I think next year we're developing a new one act style festival, I think, that we're going to do. And we've actually, this previous year we actually produced one that was actually done in our new work series, but we actually um did a full version of it and put it on stage with this season, and that
Which
was
one?
a Trillium.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
So
was one that we pretty much produced and put on stage after we did a reading of it.
so is that the plan that they'll come in and do the new works and then hopefully eventually they'll get it to be a full production?
Eventually, yes.
Okay. And so of all the stuff you do you have a favorite thing you do? In other words, is it being board president or is it being an actor or director? Do you have a preference?
Not really. I think it's everything goes hand in hand at the theater, and I think more or less I think it's just the camaraderie that we have going on between the artistic side and the board side, and just getting everybody together, and it's everybody working hand in hand to make sure we do the best productions that we're capable of doing with our actors as well as our directors, set designers, etc. So we're all very supportive of each other in that process.
And let's talk about some of the stuff. I guess we'll go back to what you've done this past year. And I've been
Mhm,
fortunate to see, I think, just about everything, and
mhm.
then the upcoming play, and then we'll kind of conclude with what's in the future. Just talk about the past year. I think it's just blown me away in that almost every show is better than the next.
Yes.
If that's possible. Talk
Yep.
about the past season and it's under your year this past year.
Well, I mean, we started out with Calendar Girls, and that show's very rarely done in the area. Then we went on to like our original work series. Then we going into a comedy, and then 2 musicals back to back, and then of course finishing up with our Christmas show. But sprinkled in between all those shows that we've done this past year, there's been our music series that we've had. We just finished, I think 2 weeks ago, we had the Buddy K Band, which is a local big band group that came in and performed. I think around November, the weekend after Veterans Day. So they came in and did a big band concert for us, and they're a local big band group
Did
out
that
of
go
Nashville.
well?
Yep, it went really well. Our music series seemed to go really well um, when we have them here. So that's it's just something different than the downtown Hendersonville series. It's just something different that people are looking for.
And I have to have you just back up a little bit. So you talk about this past season. Again, the season
Mhm,
you've been president of the board. Take each of the shows or the shows I remember. So Calendar Girls, to whoever was in charge of that, just blew me away. It was
mhm.
so much fun. It was
Yes.
it just about sold out every show, we'd say.
Yeah, I think there was a couple times we had 1 or 2 seats left, but it sold out every night. So
Okay. But just so fun. And then the show after it, I forgot the name, but I'll give the credit, whoever did it. It was best set design I've ever seen. It was the play with four women.
Oh, the Savannah Sipping Society.
Boy, did that surprise me.
Hmm.
I going into it, I didn't have a great expectation, but it
Hmm.
was just, I thought, very, very well done. But it was also great, Jonathan. Did any one person, was any one person responsible for the staging, or was it a combination?
That was Beth Norris,
Okay.
who's also our educational director, but she designed the set and directed the show.
But I thought that set was just about the best I've seen at your
Hmm.
place.
Yep.
And then, boy, you didn't have much of a breather, because then the other one was the rock musical you did.
No, Rock of Ages.
Wow, did that was a that was must have been a big effort to put that
Yes, it
on.
was. Yep. That was a large cast compared to Young Frankenstein and the set and everything. And that was also led by Victoria Lambert, the artistic director.
Well, as you're saying too, you're not taking easy little small shows to do. Because again, I
No.
couldn't believe you did Rock of Ages, which was, again, I had no expectation for it, but it
Mhm.
was fantastic. And then to go right after that, or shortly after, was Young Frankenstein.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
and that's a little that you said a small cast. That's not a small cast. That's
It's
pretty.
not a small cast, but I mean it's a big musical, and I mean it's Mel Brooks, and he's very specific on his musicals. So
Do you have a preference in terms of either being involved in or putting on a musical or drama or comedy? Do you have a preference?
it depends. I like the comedies. I like the slapstick comedies, but my favorite playwright of all time is Tennessee Williams. So, but that's the drama side and all that. But I do like the comedies and the off the wall comedies and the slapstick, and because comedy's hard to do, but it's
Oh,
fun when you do it.
well, you did also the Tennessee Williams years ago. You did a production of one of the Tennessee Williams play. It was brilliant. Uh, you know which one I'm talking about,
The first one the only one I did, my first directing debut was Glass Menagerie,
right?
and then I did Streetcar Named Desire.
Now, did you direct Streetcar? I think,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
was that with Robert and Sherry?
Yes. Hmm. Yep.
I get a chill that Sherry's no longer with us,
Yep.
but
Yep.
wow, was that fantastic?
Yep.
I just love that.
Hmm.
Um, and that's a big undertaking, though, wasn't
Yep.
it?
Oh yeah.
Boy, did you hit it? Again, same a compliment to you. I don't think ordinarily I'm a big Tennessee Williams fan, but those two shows I just loved.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
will you doing anything like that in the future?
Possibly. I always wanted to do Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, but I didn't get the chance to do that one, but you never know, there could be a reprise.
Did you folks do Cat on a Hot Tin Roof?
Yeah, we had a former Jim Walker did
Okay,
that probably several years ago.
okay, yeah, I can see that, but I hadn't realized that a lot of good stuff there in terms of drama.
Hmm.
But lately you haven't done. I'm trying to think. Have you done a drama lately?
No, this year we did it. Next year we've got there's a couple of dramas in there. If you want to call them dramas. Like we're doing two readers theater uh pieces next year, which is on Golden Pond and the Murder on the Orient Express. So that's probably two of our biggest dramas, but it's readers theater. But we recently had auditions, and we had like I think over probably 100 people or more audition for our 2024 season.
Wow, is that exciting? I mean, it's
Yes.
exciting, but it probably makes it it's tough, I guess, when you have so many people
Yes.
audition. And
Hmm.
then I guess you were involved in the auditions.
Yes, sir.
And it's tough, I guess, to tell people. It's easy to tell them when they get a part, but that must
Hmm.
be a tough part of being a director, having told them they don't get a part.
Yeah, I mean it comes and goes. I mean we're started the process of having callbacks probably starting probably in the next week or two for our 24 season. So the other directors will be presenting their callbacks, and then we'll do callbacks, and then we'll get the full cast of the shows for next year.
Let me ask you, Jonathan. I don't know if you have it handy in front of you, but or if it's been released yet, right? The
Yes,
next
it has.
season. Can you
Yep.
talk a little bit about what's upcoming?
Well, the starting our first show will be the Vagina Monologues, and that'll be directed by Ellen Pappas. And then we're going to go into Sorted Lives, and then we'll do a readers showcase call on Golden Pond, and then we're doing Anna Green Gables. Our big summer musical will be Legally Blonde. Then we'll go into another readers theater piece, which is Murder on the Orient Express. Our Halloween fall production will be Misery. And then we'll finish up next year with It's a Wonderful Life radio stage show.
Oh, super. I mean, some of that stuff, which is I like, haven't seen lately, I
Yeah,
haven't seen
yeah.
some of it's be a lot of fun. So certainly an ambitious upcoming season,
Yes.
And do you know yet, will you be directing any of that?
No, I didn't apply to direct next year, but I can say all of our directors are new to this next year, except for Heather Denton, who's directed
Okay.
here before. But all the other directors are new. They're from South Carolina and the Asheville area. Some have, I think, worked at Montford Players and Magnetic, etc. So it's a new genre of directors, like I said, that are from the upstate and Asheville area. So it's exciting because they're new directors in the area, and we're excited. We're excited to have them here at the theater.
What's exciting for me also, Jonathan, when I come to the theater, is I see some quote regulars who have seen a bunch of things, but I always like seeing some new people. So
Yeah.
I know even the acting, you
Yes.
constantly bring in new people, and that's
Yes.
exciting. But it's a perfect segue to the upcoming play. We should talk about it because I guess it opens up next weekend?
Yes, it opens up Friday, December 8th.
Okay, what play is that?
It is Every Christmas Story Ever Told and Then Some.
Okay. And why I'm looking forward to it, I try to get to it, is that I haven't seen, I don't know if I've seen this story. And what makes this one different?
It's just a bunch of Christmas. It's a comedy, of course, but it's a smash up between A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life and every childhood Christmas cartoon like Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman and a variety of those classic holiday shows that you saw when you were a kid, all mashed up into one.
And talk about the cast.
The cast, it's only 3 characters, and they play 10 to 12 different characters throughout the performance. We have Victoria Lambert, Tate Albert, and Christopher McLaughlin. And all 3 of them take on characters from It's a Wonderful Life to Christmas Carol to Rudolph to Frosty the Snowman and a variety of other characters.
So I would say, or I should ask you, is this age appropriate for anybody?
It's we've labeled it PG-13 because there's some there's not any bad language. It's just we give away the secrets of Christmas and different things like that. But it's it's age appropriate.
Now, had you ever done the show before, or are you familiar
No,
with
we
it?
haven't. We've read it a couple of times, and we just haven't had the chance to do it or to fit it into our season. I think the last time it was done around here, I think Heart Theater did it probably a couple of years ago, I believe. So it's a different Christmas show. Last year we did 2 musicals back to back in a Christmas show. One was set in the 50s and then one was in Canada, present day. So this one's just a little bit different, and it's Christmas time and it's cute and all that good stuff.
The thing that I look forward to seeing it is the fact that it just amazes me when I see actors play more than one role. And
Oh, yeah.
Here you telling me they're playing up to 10 roles apart?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever done that?
I did a show. We did me and Victoria did Greater Tuna or Tuna Christmas or one of the tuna series shows. We did that right around COVID time. So and then we both got sick and had to cancel the rest of the run. But
Well, I remember I was slated to see it the second week.
Yep.
I've seen the other
Yep.
tuna shows.
Yep.
And the fact that the 2 of you were in it, I was so looking forward to seeing
Yep.
it. Oh, so you were the 2 that got sick.
Yeah, it was that time of year. So
Did you get COVID?
yeah.
Wow, that must have been disappointing for you, was it?
It was. I mean, it was a lot of hard work, and it's one of those shows I absolutely love because it's the different characters and everything. But maybe eventually we might try to conquer it again. You never know.
Had you ever done a show with multiple parts before?
Um, Not really. This is probably the first time, but I just enjoy the challenge and just the different characterizations you can come up with, etc. So,
So this one we'll see the same thing too. So the three actors are playing
mhm.
each up to 10 different characters
Yep,
apart.
yes, sir. Yep.
Even as a director, is that challenging for you?
It is sometimes. I think with this one it's more of the switching back and forth and having the costumes. We have uh two costume people helping out costume wise designing these costumes because they're like sometimes it's like a 3 minute change or it can be up to like a 5 second change in front of you or behind the set real quick and then they come out as a totally different character. So it's just keeping the pace of the show going and once the ball starts rolling just to keep it going.
Even in terms of acting, it just must be so difficult for actors to then have 10 to keep doing different parts. And
Mhm.
sometimes with different voices, do they change the voices?
Yes, sir. Yep. Yep.
So I can see with the costumes, but the changing of voices must be tough, isn't it?
It is. Sometimes it is, and it depends on what they bring to the character and making it their own and different things like that. So that's always fun to see where it started and where it ends up. And like I said before, comedy is hard, and that's the fun of the show. That I've seen it several times now. We've run it several times, and every night it gets funnier, and I wind up laughing in different parts compared to what normal people would laugh at. I told him, I was like, I don't look at the stuff that's pretty much written. I look at everything else developed around it. So that's where I
When
enjoy all that.
when you did Tuna, was that your biggest challenge also to have the 10 different roles as
Yeah,
an
it
actor?
was because it's you switch so quickly and they're all me and Victoria both played male and female characters, so that's a whole different aspect, but that's the fun of it. And just to be on stage with somebody that you feel comfortable with doing that with is amazing. And that's always the highlight that you can play off each other and have a ball with it.
And just, I know Victoria, I've seen as an actor, a very talented actor, and so is Tate. And so the
Yes.
two of them together, that should be quite something.
Yes.
Moving forward, let me ask you this. So, what do you see? We mentioned the upcoming season at Hendersonville
Mhm.
next year. Do you see anything else happening or anything you're looking forward to do in the upcoming season or upcoming years at Hendersonville?
Yeah, I think it's probably like we're expanding our like actor database and everything. And I think we're getting a lot. We've been here for a while, but I think we're getting our name out there again. And, like I said, we have actors coming from Greenville and the Asheville area and different areas around Western North Carolina, which is amazing. So um, we're almost busting at the seams, you could say, which is a good thing. Um, so that's just it's looking to the future and seeing where we're going and you know how the progression's been and different things like that. So it's 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 fun watching us grow, and meeting all these new people and getting um I found out the last I guess since COVID we've got a um more people that are theater based in the area than what I think we have known in the past. So we've had a lot of more people like set designers and directors and actors and costume designers, and we've got more variety of volunteers and these people than what we had in the past, which is amazing. And they're bringing their expertise to us, and us all trying to work together, making this a success.
And you kind of read my mind in that I was going to ask you that perhaps final question. If folks want to get involved with Hendersonville Theater,
Mhm.
they can, you mentioned new auditions and you can talk about that, but how else can folks get involved in the theater?
We're always looking for volunteers to help with front of house, which is usually ushering, concession stand, box office. Always looking for set painters, set designers, um, just different costume designers, or just even like for this show, we got a couple of volunteers to help just dress the actors. So there's always chances to do work backstage or work in the light booth or just help out where like today we had a Christmas decorating day, so we had a couple of volunteers come in for that. So we were always looking for volunteers and to help in different aspects of the theater.
And you should mention, by the way, the fact that I think you explained it, that even though the show itself, the upcoming one, only has 3 actors, there are a whole bunch of other people behind the
Oh, yes.
scenes. Like how many people, probably would say 25 or so, were involved in any one show?
Well, I mean, we're probably a crew of probably like 10 people, but that's lighting design,
Right.
sound design, costume design, dressers for the show. I've got a assistant director for this show. She's out of South Carolina.
Who is
She's
that?
her name's I think her name's if I remember correctly, because we got a lot going on. Her name's Abigail.
Okay.
So she's been a real help, and that's the fun part too. We always have these letting people that want to direct or learn something new, us being able to support them and guide them and teach them what we know, and they put their expertise to it as well. So it's been fun having somebody assistant direct and being another set of eyes. And that's what I like about the crew we have now, because we all help each other. If I don't see something, they might see something, and we work it out. And I trust the people that I'm around. If I miss something, I value their opinion, and that I think they value mine as well. And that's just what I think community theater is all about, is just being a community and supporting each other, and us growing as a community. So,
and again, you said on this, you have a crew of 10 or so, but again, you have all those other people though, the box
yep.
office, the ticket sales, the
Yes.
ushers, and so what I want people to hopefully understand is that even though only 3 people they see on stage, it's a whole lot more people than 3 people putting this on.
Oh, it's a village.
Yeah, and it is. If folks want to get more information about the upcoming play or other stuff, what's the best bet?
You can give us a call at 828-692-1082, or you can go to www.hendersonvilletheater.org, and that's HVL Theater, THEARTE.org, for more information.
Okay. And lastly, if folks want to get in touch with you specifically, or on your Facebook, or is there any other way they can reach
I'm
you?
on Facebook, or a lot of times if they just email the theater, that'll get to us as well. But I'm on Facebook, and we always got ways of getting in contact with each other if we need to be. So,
wait, Jonathan, I'd like to thank you for being my guest on this edition of Blaine's World
thank you. You're
webcast.
welcome.
I'd also like to thank you again for just a tremendous past season, and it looks like it's only going to get better, which is kind of cool to be into. So thank you for all the great work you're doing, Victoria, everybody else there. And lastly, I'd like to thank my producer, Cappy Tassetti. Hopefully see you at the upcoming show, Jonathan, sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
You be well.
You too, sir.